Hello everyone, my name is Omashaliwa DB, and in this tutorial I'll be showing us how to create an SSIS project in Visual Studio. But first I'd like to briefly talk about SSIS, why we need SSIS and what it is used for. First, SSIS stands for SQL Server Integration Services. And SSIS is used for data extraction, transformation, and loading in data warehouses. It combines the data residing in different sources and provides users with a unified view of this data. It allows for easy data collaboration and it helps to reduce data complexity. And so for you to be able to create an SSIS project, you need SQL Server Management Studio full version. You need a full version of SQL Server Management Studio and not the Express version. And also you need a Visual Studio 2000. You need a Visual Studio, most current Visual Studio. Right now I'll be using Visual Studio 2017 in this tutorial, and I'll also be using SQL Server Management Studio 2014 in this tutorial. And also you need SSDT, which stands for SQL Server Data Tools. And this plugin is available online. It's available Microsoft Online. So first, to start, you need to open a Visual Studio. And once you open your Visual Studio, after installation, what you see is this screen right here. Once you open it, once you launch your Visual Studio, and what you need to do is click right here to create your project. So just click right here, go to new project, and make sure your integration services project is the one displayed over here. So the next thing you have to do is name your project. So for me, I'm gonna name my project SSIS demo. It could be anything depending on the name you want your project. And once you're done, you can click on OK. So here we have on the screen right now, we have the control flow, data flow, parameters, event handlers, package explorer. But right now, we're going to be dealing with the control flow and the data flow. So under the control flow right here, we can see that there at the left side, there are so many tools that we can use. But first, you need to drag and drop this data flow onto your control flow. So this data flow is kind of like the control flow is kind of like a container for the data flow. So once you click on here and drag and drop this right here, but first we need to create a database that will hold these rows. Because in this tutorial I have a raw file that I'm gonna use as my flat file. But then first, let's go to SQL Server Management Studio to create a new database. So to create a new database, all you need to do is right click right here and select new database. But right now I am not going to create a database because I already have a database created for this tutorial. So but then I need a table to hold my rows. So all I need to do is click on create new table. So my database name is SSIS demo. So click on it like this and click on date tables to create new table. So depending on your raw file, because this is my raw file, my flat file source, so I have this column names like p name, color, weight, pcd, and all that. So I need to write those names, those column names in here. So I'm gonna start by writing my column name, which is p name. It could be anything depending on what you want. name, color, weight, PCD, S name, status, and CD, and QTY. So you can also choose your data type. Right now I'm gonna be using this as my data type. This is my data type, and you can copy and paste if you want to use the same data type rather. Okay, so once this is done, we have your column names: P name, color, weight, PCD, S name, status, CD, and quantity. So you need to click right here to save your database name. So for me, I'll be saving mine as SP staging. Okay, then you click on OK. So now we have a table created as we have a table created that is going to hold this raw data that we're working on in Visual Studio. So now let's go back to our Visual Studio. So right now what we need to do is we need to double click on this. So once I double click on this, I have another layout, another tools right here that I can use. So what this is telling us is that this control flow is kind of like a container for the data flow. So if you click on here, right here, you see another different tools. So first we need to get our flat file from wherever it is on our computer. So we need to look for our flat file, and you can go right here by the left side, other sources. All you need to do is drag and drop this flat file source. And as you can see, we have a red cross right here, which means that your component is not configured. So we need to configure this. Every component needs to be configured. Every component needs to be connected to a connection manager. So you have to double click on this and select new. So you need to rename this. So you could name it any name. Like I'm just gonna do SSIS flat source or something, flat file or something. It could be anything. Let me just flat file or something. So then the next thing for you is to browse to where your raw file is. You need to browse to where your raw file is, the CSV file that you wish to use. So right here, mine is XP table. Click on it, then click on OK. So just to be sure, you can go to preview right here to preview your the raw data. Okay. So once that is done, you click on OK. Then OK. Right now, as we can see, the red cross is gone, which means this has been configured. And so we have a blue arrow and a red arrow. So this blue arrow is what it defines is that it defines the actual data that will come from the flat file source. And the red denotes probably the errors. So the next thing to do now is to get our is to locate the OLE destination, which is going to serve as a destination. So what we need to do is go to the left side and locate your OLEDB destination, which is kind of like a destination for, which serves as a destination for your SQL Server Management Studio. So what you need to do is drag and drop this. So then we need to do the same thing for this as well. So once we drag and drop this OLEDB destination, we need to configure it as well, because this red cross arrow, as I said earlier, means this connection manager needs to be configured. So what we need to do is double click right here to configure the connection manager. So what we need to do is click new and click on new. So you can get your server name from here by clicking on this right here. My laptop is running slow. Okay, so when this happens, if you can't get to your server name, you can go to your Microsoft, you can go to your Visual Studio and right click right here. Click right here to get your server name. And once that is done, you can go back to your Visual Studio and paste this in. So once you paste this in, you notice that immediately you have some you have this shown here. Then you have to create your you have to select your database name. In my case, it's SSIS demo. It could be anything for you. So you can test the connection. Okay, nice. Then you click on this one. Then you have to select your you have to click on OK. So here you have to select your table name from this drop down. Select table name. The next thing to do is click on OK. So the next thing we need to do is connect this flat source to the OLEDB destination. So you can click on this flat file source and drag this, the blue one, to the OLEDB destination. So double click on this to make sure that we have the right data. We can go and click on this mappings right here. This is going to show us the files, our raw file that we had earlier. So this is good. Okay, click on OK. And so once you click on OK, this red cross here is gone, which means our database, the connection manager has been configured. So the next thing we need to do now is to make sure this works. We need to run and we need to click right here and click on start. If this works, then we should have two like a green symbols to show that this is okay. So right now we can see that this flat file source and the OLEDB destinations are well connected, and it's able to get data from this flat file source and into the SQL Server Management Studio as well. So once you're done with this, you have to click here to design mode. Okay, so you can close this. So the next thing we need to do right now is to go back to our SQL Server Management Studio and right click on this one, right click on database to go to your database. So you can write a select statement, or you can select top 100 rows. So if you go back to your staging, The database that we created has been populated from the SSIS. So the OLDB serves as a connection manager from destination, which is the SQL Server Management Studio, and the flat file is kind of like the files that we it's kind of like our raw files. So this is what happens when this is done. So now I already have like 3 tables right here. I have my P table, S and SP table right here, which I created before this video. So if you want to create your own tables, it's the same way as I created this in this tutorial video. So what you need to do is right click with new table and all that. So to see my design view for this SP, the only thing I did that was different is I was able to set this to primary key, and I was also able to change this to, it was no before, so I changed this to yes, like for the identity specification. So you can do that for all the other 2 tables. So now we need to write a stored procedure, like we need to write a stored procedure that will get this data for us into this table. So what we need to do is I already have a stored procedure written that I can use in this video. You can write yours as well, and you can use the one I have in this video as well. So then I'll go to my notepad, and this is my stored proc. So just copy this and paste this right here. So I need to change my the name. So this is my database name, SSIS demo, and you can use any name, whichever one you want for this, depending. So I'm going to run the stored procedure on my database. So and let's see. So once you run this stored procedure, it says command successfully executed. So some of these rules and those tables, do this for all of the tables just to prevent conflict. SP as well. Secure. Need to delete all this data to prevent conflict, because we need to get our data from SSIS. So after this, the next thing we need to do is copy and paste this stored procedure. I already created the stored procedure, so I just need to execute it. Copy the path since I already executed. So go back to your Visual Studio. So the last part of the project is we have to go right here, click on Control Flow. Okay, so then we have to drag this execute SQL task right here. So we need to join this with the SQL tasks. So what we need to do now is we need to configure this as well. We need to double click on this and choose our connection type. Okay, so we need to write the SQL statement, which in this case I already executed the stored proc, so I'm just gonna do the same for this, but I have to delete this to prevent conflict. So you click on OK, then once that is done, you click on OK, and then this is done. So to test if this data is actually being loaded into the table, so we need to click on Start right here. So if everything goes well, we should have the same thing as we did earlier. So this tells us that everything is working fine as it should with this. Once we have these two arrows right here, it shows that everything is working fine, which is good. So we can go back to our database as well and try to select from the staging. So then we get our data back. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you all have a basic understanding of how you can create your first SSIS project in Visual Studio.